site. I'm Jillian Middleton, and I'm really glad you're here. So before we start talking about this marvelous ebook that I'm going to really encourage you to take a look at, let me just tell you who I am and a little bit about me. The short story is that I've been involved in network marketing either as a builder or as a coach for more than 2 decades. It's a long time. I built 2 businesses, mostly with Excel Communications, got to the top of the pay plan and been through the trenches. I understand what it is to be really frustrated because you think you're starting over all the time, over and over, and how to get around that, by the way. Think ebook, okay? And I know what it is to work with somebody and help them get through what's stopping them from being able to move forward. So that's who I am. You'll get to know me as you come to the site, as you come to the calls. We do a lot of free calls here. There's a lot of things for you to look at, a lot of things to take away. We have a newsletter that you can get involved in, and what you'll get then is every week you'll get something that will help you, an actionable thing that you can do that will actually move your business forward. I think the best thing for me to tell you is that there's probably not a lot of fluff here. We're either working on something or we're not working on something. And you and I both know that. And so if you're coming here, we're working on something that's holding you back, that we're going to move to the side so you can pass through it, get over it, and move on. Okay, so the book. It's an ebook. Forget the E part. It's a book. It's a book that's not just theoretical. It isn't something that you're going to be finished and think, that was a good story, I really like what I got. It's something that if you're willing to be, here's the word, you're going to hear it a lot here, coachable, it will change things. It truly will help you get to that 6-figure income that you want to. And if you're already at a 6-figure income, it'll move it to like the 250, the 500,000. These things are really possible in network marketing, because if you didn't know this, you're sitting on $1 million. That's what network marketing is. Now we have to get it from underneath your derriere and into your bank book, right? So you have to stop sitting on it and actually take action to make it happen. That's what the ebook is about. So what I'm asking you to do now is bring your coachable self to this, because I can't do it for you. I can do a lot of things with you. I can help you with it, but I can't do it for you. You have to do it. Okay, so if you do that, there's a big promise. Smart, strong, savvy. The 5 steps, the Savvy 5 steps, are smart because they're proven. I didn't go to bed last night and think about this and get up this morning and write this book. Okay, I put those steps together when I was training my own team, when I was part of Excel Communications, because I'm herding cats just like you are without them. And I knew that I needed to not use my personality to try and get my team to be like me. I needed them to use their own personality and have a system that they could use over and over and over, rinse and repeat, over and over again to get them where they wanted to go. Because that's how my business grows. It's how your business grew, okay? And their business is going to, but only if they have a proven system. So what you're going to end up with is being really smart, because the system is proven. It will work. Strong, because what happens when you are comfortable with the next thing you're going to do? When you know what you have to do, when you feel like, oh, I got that one nailed, and you can just step into it, what happens? You feel confident. You feel like you can handle it. You feel like you can move forward with it. That's what happens when you are coachable and actually utilize the steps. You'll end up then being smart, strong, because you will feel good about what it is you're doing. Using the system that's proven, that emboldens you to be who you are, to be able to use those steps. Okay. Savvy. This is my favorite one, because the savvy actually is going to change how you interact with people. When you are savvy, when you feel good, when you know your system's working, when you are competent, when you feel competent, there's a thing that happens. You have now not knowledge of these steps, you have ownership. Completely changes the picture for you. And when you have ownership of something, you're not thinking about it. Think about your car. You learn to drive. The kid across the way from me has just done this, right? I've sort of watched it happen all over again. So the first time he gets in his car with his mother, he's like checking everything twice, backing out of the driveway, really looking around, just making sure everything is right. And his grin is from ear to ear because he can hardly handle this. He's finally got this freedom thing together. But he doesn't yet because he has to think about everything. Where his hands go, where's the key, windshield wipers, whatever's going on. Everything is a thought process. Everything is a problem to solve because he's not a savvy driver yet. But I watched him get in the car the other day, and he gets in the car and he just gets in, slams the door, puts on the seatbelt on, and he's already thinking of something else because he's been through it. He owns it. He has ownership of the driving. Backs out, he's looking, but he's putting things, there's no rigidity anymore. He's flowing. He knows how to drive. He gets it. That's what will happen with these steps in your business because you will stop worrying about what do I have to do next? What if she asks me this? What am I going to say next? Because you're going to listen. You'll be freed up to listen to the person you're talking to. That's where the savvy part comes in. So now you've got this system, so you're smart. You've got the strength, the boldness, the strong, because you know the system's going to work. And you're savvy because you can just listen. All right, so let's talk about what these steps are all about. We have a goal. You know what goals are. Everybody has long-term goals, short-term goals. Sometimes you make them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes they're wonderful, sometimes they're aggravating. But everything has to have a goal, because otherwise, you're making great time, but you don't know where you're going, so it doesn't help. So there's a goal to this ebook. I call it the working goal. In other words, what is it you're trying to do when you're talking to somebody? And most people think you're trying to recruit them, but you're really not. That's not your goal. Your goal is to find out if they're recruitable. That's what you're trying to do. So what you're really trying to do, your working goal, is simply to get an answer. Not yeses, an answer. All those people you got hanging out that you've talked to who say, oh, let me think about it for a while. Or, I think this is really good, but I'm not sure yet. What do you do with those people? They hang around, they take your energy, they pull you down, you keep going back and talking to them, and you don't quite ever ask them. We're going to get rid of all of that. You have a working goal with these steps, and it's to get simply an answer. That's all you're going to do. And do we all want yeses? Of course we do. But you already know that's not going to happen. So it doesn't matter what they say. It matters that they say and that you're the one driving the conversation. And that's what's going to happen when you start to utilize the 5 steps. Okay, so what are they? I'm only going to briefly go through them because you're going to bring your coachable self to that ebook and you're going to use it. You're going to use each one of those steps and you're going to put them into place. Okay, so the first one, and they're all going to make sense to you, by the way. I mean, it's like common sense. You're going to go, oh, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Because I hear it over and over again. Everybody says the same things. I can't believe how easy they are. And they are. So the first one is, who are you going to call? Duh. It's your list, right? You have to have a list. When you come to your desk to sit down to go to work, you have to know what you're going to do. You have to know who you're going to talk to. If you don't have a list, then you will after you're finished with step 1, because you're going to build one. And if you do have a list, you're going to keep adding to it. The brain is a really interesting thing. When you give it a job, it's like a dog with a bone. It's always gnawing on it. It's thinking already. So if you have your list in your head, well, good for you. You have a better memory than I do. But you know something? Your brain's not thinking about that list. If you write it down, one name after the other, your brain will start popping names in that you haven't thought about because it gets the task. Oh, I know what we're doing. We're thinking of people we know. And so it's going to start pumping them in there for you. But if you don't write them down, there's no pump. So this is a good one, follow the directions, right? That's what it's about. So get that list on paper. And you don't need to have 100 names to get started. I will have not one upline shouting at me for this, right? Don't think about that. It doesn't matter how many names you have on the list. It matters that you're building the list. It matters that you've got them on the list. That's what you have to do. So don't worry. Do you want 100? No, you want 1,000. But not this afternoon. You just need the ones you're going to talk to. All right. And this goes into detail in the ebook, but you get the idea. You know who you're going to call. Number 2, you need to know what you're going to say. Well, duh, right? But how many times have you gotten on the phone ring, 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 hello, and you go, hey, Susie, how are you? And you're stuck because you haven't thought it all through. And we think in videos, right? You have all these bubbles going on in your head. You know exactly what you're going to say and how it's going to sound. And then they say hello. But if you haven't linearized that stream, if it haven't gotten from between your ears to come out your mouth one word at a time, you're stuck because you don't know what you're going to say anymore. And you thought you were perfect. So you're going to learn what to say. There are scripts. You get everything you need. Breaking it down as to how to figure out what to say to someone. And it's not hard. Again, not hard. So that's step 2. Step 3, do you have a calendar? Because if you don't, you will. Look, you're in business. Just like the hairdresser or the dog walker or your financial advisor or your realtor or your doctor, they all run their day on time. Because that's all any of us have. It, by the way, is your most valuable, precious treasure, your time. And so if you're like whittling away, just a little goes here and a little flutters here, you're losing the greatest commodity you have, and you can't replace it. So one of the things that you're going to learn to do here is know who you're going to call, figure out what you're going to say, and then reach for your calendar and decide, I'm going to make this call or these calls at this time. And it's not when the baby takes a nap, because that's not on my watch. And if it's not on my watch, it's not real. And you need to know that. If it's not on your clock, it doesn't count. So, first 3 steps. Who are you talking to? What are you going to say? When are you going to make the call? Number 4 is the magic step. Totally. Number 4 is, how do you get them to do what you want them to do? Yeah, you can. And I want to tell you, I rode horses for a living 1,000,000 years ago. 1,000 pounds. You don't bully 1,000 pounds. You don't muscle 1,000 pounds. Because it doesn't work. What you have to do with a 1,000-pound horse is enroll them. And they're not nearly as easy to enroll as the person you're talking to. And there are tricks to do that that will allow you to move the conversation forward and actually get them to participate with you and agree to whatever your first look material is, whether you're having them watch a video, whether you're having them go to a call, 3-way call, an event, doesn't matter. You'll have the tool to enroll them in the process and get them to take a look and follow through. And then what do? Step 5. Do you ever hear the magic is in the follow-up? Or the money is in the follow-up? Well, that's exactly where it is, in the follow-up. And what you'll do is actually make a follow-up appointment with them. And that's not, I'll call you Friday afternoon. Again, he needs to look at a clock, right? If it's not attached to that, it's not an appointment. And nobody's mind is attached to a time frame that's running if you don't set an appointment. We talk about urgency in this business. You know, you have to give people a sense of urgency. That isn't, you got to get in this now, because if you're saying that, it means that it's only now, and tomorrow it's going to be gone. Who wants to start a business that's going to be gone tomorrow? So that's not the urgency. The urgency is, this opportunity is real. It deserves respect. You want to look at this. You want to take it seriously. Can you do that today? Or do you need to wait until tomorrow to look at it? You have a clock ticking. Your sense of this, and the importance of it, is what creates the urgency. And the appointment is what gets the clock moving, so that they know they have this much time, and it's getting less and less and less until they perform what they said they were going to perform. Sense of urgency. That's what ties this all together. So the 5 steps are simple. Common sense. Who are you calling? What are you saying? When are you making the call? How do I get them to do what they're supposed to do? Are they sure? Do they understand what they're supposed to do? Because what do people do when they don't know what to do? Nothing. So it's your job to make sure they understand it and why it's important to them, and set the follow-up appointment just to find out where their interest is. And go into detail about that in these 5 steps. Read it, grab it, be sure to read it. Speaking of reading and grabbing it, down here, there's the button. I want the ebook now. Press it. Send us your best email address, and we'll pop it into the mail to you right away. In closing, I just want to say this to you. You'll enjoy reading that ebook if you're in network marketing. You'll know that those steps are important if you're in network marketing, if you're building. You can walk away with a really clear theoretical knowledge of those steps and know that they'll make a huge difference to your business. But that's not the goal. Our goal is that you put them in action. And at the end of every step, I encourage you to do something so that you build the bridge from step 1 to 2, and from step 2 to 3, and from 3 to 4, and from 4 to 5. Because it's you building that bridge by working these steps that's going to help you create that 6-figure income. But more importantly than that, because if you've been into network marketing for any length of time, you know that your real job is helping others build their income, build their team. And that's what it'll help you do. It'll help you create income for everybody because they're smart, strong, and savvy, and so will you be. Get that ebook now. Thanks for being here. I hope to talk to you again soon. Bye-bye now.